Hi, this is Marcel of Marcel on Tech, and today we're talking about one of my favorite Chinese brands, which is the Xiaomi. Now, Xiaomi have been releasing phone after phone in recent years, and they continue to really push the boundaries, but they're now no longer the mid-tier. They also have the high tier and very, very premium flagship devices as well. Now, the T range, this is the Xiaomi 13T Pro, and this used to be the mid-range priced device. Now they're pushing the price bracket up, as well as pushing up all of the specs on this device as well. So let's get into whether you should invest in something like this, which I feel are probably one of the most reliable, slightly cheaper phones available right now. Let's get into it. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to let you know that 98% of my viewers are actually new viewers and not subscribers. So please do like and subscribe a video if you do watch it and you like what I'm saying or how I'm coming across. If there's anything in particular you want to learn about any of the previous videos I've made, or any tech in particular that you would like to see me review, put a comment below and I'd love to hear from you. Right, let's get into this video. Okay, so we're talking about the Xiaomi 13T Pro. Now, this device in the hand, first of all, let's take a little look around it, okay? Now, unfortunately, it's probably got one of the ugliest camera bumps I've seen on a phone in a long, long time. I personally don't really care too much about camera bumps, but now Xiaomi in particular seem to be really excelling in pushing the boundaries of cameras and pushing them out of the back of the phone as much as possible. And I think the ergonomics and visuals of that is really, really ugly. The downside, of course, as well, when you place it down on a table, it's very wobbly, uneven, and you're definitely leaning on that camera bump. What you have got inside these cameras, of course, is two 50 megapixel lenses, which is very cool. You've got an ultra wide and the regular main camera, which is very, very cool. But they do have the Leica branding, which we'll get into a little bit more a bit later on. Walking around the device again, in the hand, it is quite a surprisingly light device. You actually feel like it's going to be heavier because it's a similar sort of size to an iPhone Pro Max. But it's actually quite light. And the reason for that is because the frame is actually plastic, which is, it's a bit unfortunate, but plastic is plastic. It does protect well. It doesn't scratch so easily, and it's frosted as well. Now, I've got this lovely marine blue color, which I really, really like. One of the features that I really like about this phone, in contrast to the camera bump, is the faux leather back. The faux leather back, it's actually very nice in the hand. It feels very grippy. It's smooth but grippy. It's obviously not going to be a fingerprint magnet, so it's definitely not something that's going to affect you in that way. And it's just unique. It's a nice feel. It looks really good. I think it makes it look premium, and it makes it look more premium because of the fact that it does have the plastic edges on the side. So that is unfortunately where it balances out quite well, but depending on whether you like faux leather or not, this is going to work for you. There is another version, which is a black obsidian version, which doesn't have this faux effect, but it is a frosted effect as well. So depends on what you want to go for. I find the black ones are always a little bit boring, so I like to go for the color versions. Now, of course, looking at the device around the sides, we've got here some microphones as well as an infrared as well, which is fantastic. Xiaomi is one of the few phone manufacturers that's still pushing out infrared beams on their phones, which is really handy because it means you can control everything from your TV to your AC, anything that basically uses an infrared receiver. So having that feature, whilst a lot of people might not even know about it, is actually extremely useful, and I really appreciate that they still do that as well. They're one of the very few companies that still do. Working around the left side, there's absolutely nothing going on over there. On the underside, you've got the SIM tray, USB Type-C, of course, and a speaker grill. You do have stereo speakers, so it does come out the top as well. And then on the right-hand edge, we've got here the volume rocker and, of course, the power button. It is a great panel. So the main thing about this device is obviously going to be your panel and what the screen looks like. And it is 144 Hertz when pushed, especially during gaming. Normally 120. and super, super smooth. It's an AMOLED screen as well, and that is really where the premium side of this comes in. They focus more on the screen tech, less on the shell and the casing, and they've put more of the investment into the screen and the CPU, which in this case is a Dimensity 9200. And that has been almost completely glitch-free. When I've used the phone, it's been stutter-free, very quick, great to react, and I've been very, very pleased. I have, however, had, and I haven't had this with a modern phone, I have one system crash. And admittedly, I had it connected to Bluetooth, I was playing a video, and I had something downloading in the background, and I noticed when I went back into YouTube, the whole thing froze. That is the first time that's happened on any modern device this year, to be honest. It froze, shut down, I couldn't do anything, shut itself down, rebooted, and then the problem never repeated. So I have only ever had that once. I was quite surprised. Obviously, I couldn't catch it on camera, and I was quite surprised that that happened. But otherwise, in terms of movement, function, fluidity, it is really, really good. So it is definitely a smooth device and reliable. And I wanted to say reliable because I gave my son a Redmi phone, and this is the Redmi Note Pro Plus 5G, ridiculously long name. But obviously Redmi is a offshoot of Xiaomi, and this phone has been incredibly reliable. It was actually way ahead of its time because it had a 120 hertz screen. It was very, very affordable. It is LCD, it's not AMOLED, so it's not quite the same. Functioning very, very well, and is very smooth, very rapid, and works brilliantly for his gaming needs. And the cameras even on it are surprising as well. So in terms of reliability from this brand, I would say that if you're going to get a Xiaomi phone, then the good news is you are going to get system updates up to 4 years, which is very impressive. And you're going to get security updates for 5 years. That's something that they've been working quite hard to push forward. And I'm very pleased to see that it's running Android 13, which is the latest version, and MIUI 14 as well. So this is the most up-to-date device from Xiaomi in terms of software and security, and it will be supported going forward. I can also say that for reliability purposes, I believe that Xiaomi and Redmi, their offshoot, are also very, very reliable phones. So although this device is not cheap because because it's the Pro version, it comes in at just under €1,000, which is quite a lot of money. You can get the non-Pro version that comes in at around $650, which might be the smarter choice of the two. Now, the main difference between the Pro and the regular version is the chip and the cameras. Otherwise, everything else is almost the same. So in terms of value for money, the non-Pro version might be the best way, but if you want the best version of the T sister series, this is definitely going to be the way to go, and you won't have any problems with it. Going into the second, probably most important thing, is going to be the cameras. So the cameras are 50 megapixel cameras, top and bottom here. You've got an ultra wide and you've got the telephoto. And then of course you've got a 12 megapixel ultra wide as well. So that's very, very cool. So they do work rather well. I do have to say I have enjoyed taking photos and video with it. There's a lot of functionality within the camera setting of the Xiaomi phones, which is quite expansive and can be overwhelming to a certain extent because there are plugins that can be downloaded, there are additional filters, there are multiple programs that can be used to create short film clips for pre-editing, etc. Probably 90% of people aren't ever going to use that, but if you're interested in seeing more about that, put a comment below, I'd love to hear. And it is very, very cool. There's a lot on offer from this phone and its cameras, the quality of which you can judge for yourself as I put some of these images up here. There is a night feature as well, which is actually quite good, actually. I also later discovered that there is a night video feature as well that actually I didn't realize until I started playing with it. But the camera quality is right up there. It can, on the reverse, of course, record 4K in 30 FPS. And the front camera is a 20 megapixel lens, which actually does take good selfies, but they are very soft. They're very, very, because of the Leica branding as well, It has a Leica mode and the Leica filters, and I find that those are very, very good at softening the face. They often make them some more beautified, etc. And I quite like to tone that down if I can, but I find the controls for that are not so easy to access. But it is a good selfie camera, and I have to say the one thing I was very impressed with, particularly on the forward-facing camera, was stabilization. Stabilization for recording in 1080p was very good. So this is the forward-facing camera on the Xiaomi 13T Pro. You tell me. I think the stabilization looks pretty decent, to be honest. Tell me what the audio pickup is like. There's quite a lot of softening happening on my face, so it's quite flattering, but we're just coming to dusk now here on the coast, and it'll be interesting to see how it deals with the HDR as I turn around. Also, it's a little bit windy, so I'd quite like to know whether or not it's isolating that sound or not. And let's just take a look as we change the light situation. Yeah, it's keeping my face very, very light, so it's working quite well. Okay, let's have a little look at what it's like on the rear camera. Okay, this is the rear-facing camera in 4K, 30 FPS, and let's see how the pickup is on this. The forward-facing camera can only handle 1080p, whereas the rear-facing camera can actually deal with 4K at 30. So it'll be interesting to see whether you notice any difference in that camera quality, and obviously the stabilization as well as the change in the light as we get into dusk here. Also like to know if it's isolating my voice well as well. Okay, let me know what you think. Put your comments below. Then finally, in finale, what you get on board with this device, because it's the Pro version, is 12 gigabytes of RAM, and this is the 512 gigabytes of memory. That is fantastic, and I definitely think that companies should be doing that more often, which is to push up the memory, because games, videos, photos, everything is expanding in terms of memory usage, and these companies are really pushing the availability much, much higher up. So the standard, the base model for the Pro version is 12 gigs with 512, which is fantastic. So that's where the higher price bracket comes in, and I found that the recording capability and the speed is very, very good. I haven't even touched on that memory really, and I've done some videos, I've made plenty of photos, etc. And that is great that you've got that on board, because there is also no expandable memory as well, but you can have dual SIM. The other thing that's amazing, check out that box. That is a proper old school phone box, because what you get inside it is, nowadays you're getting nothing in the box except the phone and a cable. That's all you get with all the mainstream companies. But now you're getting all kinds of things, ranging from obviously your SIM ejector, stickers, quick guides, all that kind of stuff, and you're getting a free case as well. So a free condom case is an absolute bonus, because it really does help protect it immediately and doesn't require you to have to buy a case straight away. You're also getting inside the box of this Xiaomi 120 watts charger. This is a beast, and this has proven to be very, very useful, because this phone can be charged up in 40 minutes from 0 to full. And of course, the other part of this in terms of the security and biometrics, and one of the things I was very impressed with, was the speed at which it unlocks from Face ID. I almost think that it's not quite reliable, because when I pick up the phone and turn it to my face, it's instant. It picks up my face for facial recognition really, really quickly. And I just don't know any other phone really that does that. And it doesn't always do it in when it can't see my face, so it's not like it's unreliable, but it works really fast. And obviously I've tested this on other people's faces, and it's not unlocking from their faces. So the Face ID, I don't know how exactly reliable it is, but it is much quicker than I've seen on any other phone to date. So that is quite impressive. Otherwise, it does also have a fingerprint sensor on the front of the screen, which is perfectly reliable, very, very quick. Sometimes it even unlocks with my face quicker than I can unlock it with my finger. So it is a very good device and highly reliable. And I think this is something that's going to last a long time. So if you're looking for longevity, this is the type of phone that I would recommend for you to consider. So in conclusion, is this phone worth buying? I would say yes, absolutely. If you're thinking about spending less than €1,000, but you want to get something reliable with good quality cameras, I'd say B+ cameras, 4K video, very good Bluetooth connection, 5.4 by the way, a very, very good under-display fingerprint reader, a lovely panel with 144 Hertz refresh rate, then you cannot really make too many mistakes with this phone. If you don't mind the camera bump, I've got a bit of a gripe with it. I don't like it. I think it's ugly. The case that it comes with does come with a lip, which is good, but otherwise this is a very reliable phone that I don't think you would have any issues with going forward. But there is a lot of competition out there in this price bracket. So maybe if you want to get this phone, wait for a sale, because with Xiaomi there are always sales or discounts. Plus they're always releasing phones all the time, which means that their evolution of phone pricing drops quite incrementally, quite regularly, quite quickly. So it would be really good. Of course, as always, there'll be links in my description if you wish to buy those, which helps the channel out a lot. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. We're well on our way now. Massive thank you to those of you who have subscribed. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Keep your eyes peeled for the phone coming soon, which is the Pixel 8 Pro, which is my next video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you for that one. Bye-bye for now.